All right, Super Conscious Mastermind. Today is February 27th. Um, Stanford and I are talking about what's going on. I was telling him all the activity I've had, and he's like, "Wow, that's really cool." Um, you you know, you move along like you said, like you committed to do one thing a day on your project, right?
Hmm.
But you're going to reach a point where the clarity hits, where it really comes together. I know you've hit a couple of those already.
Yeah, I already had that. Yeah.
And so for me, this has all come together at once.
Hmm.
But the collateral materials there's a lot of collateral materials that need to be created. So um and it's like once I get these done, like the videos, I'm going through and doing the edits and everything, and then the recordings are okay. Hey, Jamie, the recordings are okay, but I can go back and redo them.
Hmm.
How you doing, Jamie? You're muted, buddy.
Oh, there we go. Hey,
There you go.
how's it
Okay,
going?
hold it. Okay, pause. Let's show us the arm, Ryan. Let's go.
I mean, it's just outlined right now.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
Can you see really the?
Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
actually, and all up there too. I don't know really what you can see. I'll
Very
flex.
cool.
So
I'll flex for you
how
guys.
how did you feel when you walked out of the tattoo studio?
So I'll be honest. I wasn't excited until the morning because it was a very long day, and the last 2 hours were very rough for me. I was like, "God, get me the hell out of here!" And so I left the shop like my arm was all bandaged up. I was tired. It was cold out, and I was very cranky. And so when I got home, I found myself having regrets. Like, what the hell did I do to myself? And then I'm thinking like I've got like four more sessions. Blah blah blah. But then in the morning when I woke up, I looked at it and I was like, actually, that's pretty cool. And I got really excited. So now I'm in more of an excited mode.
The permanency, if that's the correct word, of doing that. You talk about commitment. There you go.
Like buyer's remorse almost because like now you
That's
started,
it.
I gotta finish it. Um,
Jamie, what tips do you have for Ryan now that he's pregnant?
Gosh, I don't know. It's been a while. It reminds me of, it just brings back memories because I think did mine like almost 20 years ago
I
now.
was going to say
God, it's
20
crazy.
years, I bet.
Yeah,
wow.
but I liked the commitment part. Um, like, yeah, there's like a little bit of, there's that doubt and that fear, and then the commitment like trumps everything. Like as you just like you could move into your next day and whatnot. I remember that. And then feeling just like really um it's just exciting, it makes me want to go get more tattoos. I think that's the best thing that tattoos
Me
do for
too.
me. It's like it's the commitment thing. You're like,
Yeah.
yeah, you don't I've never looked at them and been like, oh, I don't like this, you know. They just become a part of you, and it's like a commitment to yourself. No one else, it's no one else's business. No one else care. Well, maybe other people care, but but they really don't. Everyone's worried about themselves, so it's like it's so cool having something that's like that you did for yourself.
Well, they're
um
so common now. When I was a
yeah, they're
kid,
exciting.
if you had a tattoo, you were a convict, man. Those are the only they had. You know, really. I mean, literally, and the whole thing is now changed. Hey, Ronnie's coming in
I find it like everyone seems
now.
very interested in learning more about it. Everyone's asking me questions and all that. I mean, healing. I'm
Yeah,
I'm so thankful I've taken care of my skin because like I'm healing so well. I haven't really scabbed. It's not really that big of a deal.
yeah,
And
it
she said
looks
I was
good.
yeah, thank you. Some of the lines are fading a little bit. Like she said some
Uh-huh.
of the ink wouldn't completely stay. So when we go back, she's gonna touch up the spots that kind of the ink dropped
Yeah.
out or whatever.
Hey, Ronnie,
Hey.
Ronnie.
I'll get to you in a second. Jamie, you sent me a note. You have to get off early.
Yeah.
Do you, okay. Do you have anything that you have questions about or you'd like to cover because you have to leave early?
Um, no, not. I thought about it a little bit before the call, but all that I've just been kind of hands down in work, so I haven't like gotten a perspective on anything that I want to address. Um, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I just wanted to, give you the chance to bring it up.
Yeah, thanks.
So the Sheik is here. Um, the camel jockey. Ronnie, I laughed my ass off when I saw you on that camel. I was going, this is classic.
Yeah, yeah, it was really fun.
I was like, is that
I got
real or is
scared a
that
little,
AI?
but it was really cool.
You know, what are you learning about wealth? What's happening?
I feel like the coolest thing I've done is like today, for example, when I was in the pool with the incredible view, I was saying my divine gifts, and I felt like it was present, like the more I was saying it, I felt like, oh shit, like I'm really living in it. Like it's tangible. I can feel it. And like that was such a beautiful feeling. Like I really felt like, oh my gosh, like these divine gifts, like the things I've been saying the past, I don't know how long. Um, it's like it's here. I feel it. I see it. I'm touching it. I'm experiencing it. And that was like the coolest thing in the world.
Wow. Who has any comments?
What was your what was the most what was the most what was the best part?
Um, I have an auntie that lived in Congo. She's my late mom's cousin. She moved to Russia 3 years ago.
Mm.
And so I never got a chance to see her in person when I was in Congo. I missed her. And she lost her mom. So she lost my mom's like cousin. Um, anyhow, she lost her mom last year. And she wasn't able to mourn with her family because she was in Russia and they couldn't afford for her to go back to Congo. And I got a chance to take her to the desert with me, and that was just such a beautiful feeling because she's, yes, I lost my mom, but I have to be obviously like, I'm still very much fortunate. My mom left us in a pretty good place, and I know not everybody has that, like, you know that grace and luxury. Like, she couldn't even go bury her mom. So for me to get a chance to like spoil her and like leave her with like a wonderful memory, that's like, you know it was, yeah, very, very beautiful moment for me. Just the fact that I got a chance to do that with her and my
Mm.
family members in Africa was like sharing the photos we took together. And I feel like she can see how much of a beautiful person my mom was just by my action. So yeah, taking her to the desert was yeah, probably my best moment.
That's cool. I think you're going to say the
Danford,
hawk.
any thoughts or comments? Danford?
No, I think it's a really wonderful beginning to your next decade.
Thank you. I agree.
So it's like it's just the right way to do it.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
How has it shifted your
Jamie?
energy?
Oh my gosh, like I feel like my standard has gone up.
Mm.
Um, I could see and feel what wealth looks like, so I
Mm.
know what to chase. Not necessarily chase it, but how to attract it.
Attract it.
Yeah,
Attract it. Let it come
hmm
to you.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. And just know that, like, that insecurity feeling of like sometimes creeping up that, oh, do I deserve this? Do I not? Like this was like proof that like, yeah, you do, and it's here, you feel it. So you can have all of this, It's not like it's something that's unattainable. So I feel like, yeah, it's everything I'm trying to attract. It's here, and just keep letting that energy flow.
How does it feel when you're you talk about like the wealth and that being there, and then but it's interesting how quickly that stuff can become mundane when it's there and around you and achievable, and then like
Hmm.
becomes the experiences, becomes the experience,
Hmm.
the relationship that you talked about going out in the desert, and how that is like so abundant, so much more
That's the
abundant
wealth. Yeah.
without the physicals or the money and or all that, but like freedom to do that. I mean, I guess yeah, there's the connection more so than some these things might have taken some money to achieve to go and do them, but really it's like the results of that is just like that experience that could happen a lot of times without it.
Hmm.
Yeah, and then that's like
Exactly.
wealth, right? Yeah,
I agree totally, totally.
It-
And like
it's a yeah.
and
that,
health and all that too.
yeah, for sure. And that's like my life purpose, right? It's inspiring and serving. So it's just like those things don't require, like for me to give $1 million to somebody or anything, just like serving in the little way possible. And, rather that be taking somebody along with me or inspiring others like I'm trying to do, that all these things are achievable and I'm not more special than anybody else. So like that's the cool part, just getting all cool messages and just letting people know that like, yeah, like once your energy's in the right place and you have a good idea what your life mission is and your purpose, then you just attract. And I feel like that's what's happening to me and what happened.
Amazing what experiences can do, you know?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, there's something though with this that's more important than the experience,
Hmm.
and that's the foundation that Ronnie set for himself before he went.
Mm.
He had that. What? Tell us about the beautiful birthday party you had. I saw the movie on Instagram with you and your family. That was
Mm.
incredible.
Yeah, yeah. Again,
And let
energy,
me
like,
just finish, Ronnie. Because
yeah.
Ronnie talked about this. Should I go to Dubai? And it's like, well, you're going to go horror around, or what are you going to do? And we just talked about, what's the purpose, and so he set himself up properly. He said, "Oh no, I'm going to be with my family on Friday. Then I'll fly over there." And so talk a little bit about that.
Yeah. So Friday, on my birthday, last Friday, was absolutely insane. My brother, oh my gosh, I even forgot that. My brother almost died.
Mm.
Like on my birthday morning, he had a crazy car accident. He saw a chart on the highway, like a cart, sorry, and he tried to swerve the cart. His car flipped. Canada weather's really bad in the winter with all the snow and stuff. His car flipped, and it landed on the driver's side, and he had to like crawl out of the car by the back window, got out the car, and the person who witnessed it all is like, man, I called the ambulance saying that somebody died, because like there's no way. And he basically had to punch the back window to crawl out. Ambulance, firefighters came in the scene and they're running to the car and he's like, hey, I'm here. And they're like, we're gonna get the person who's stuck in this car out. And he's like, no, 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 like I got out. I was only me. And they couldn't believe their eyes. They're like, man, like 9 out of 10 times this happening, it's fatal. And
Wow.
I got a call at like 3 a.m. and I had like I'm like, shit, like why is someone calling me multiple times at 3 a.m.? I didn't answer. And yeah, he messaged us. He's like, yo, I almost died. Like, look at my car. And he came back home. He was just bleeding because he had to punch the back window to crawl out. And yeah, the ambulance couldn't believe their eyes. So that's how my birthday started. He didn't get a chance to come to Montreal. Obviously, he was recovering. He had a headache, but he went to get checked out, and they told him, "Hey, you're perfectly fine. We don't know how." And I was like, "Yeah, that's my mom helping you from above, because there's no way you make it out. If you guys saw the car, like." So then that was my morning, and then I was setting up a mentorship program out of high school. I finished that. Then I had to rush to a speaking engagement for Black History Month. And as I arrived to the speaking engagement, I get a call from the Airbnb that I got for my birthday, and he's like, "Hey, because of the snowstorm, we can't open the key lock." And I'm like, "What do you mean?" He's just like, "Oh, well," I was like, "Can you throw hot water?" He's like, "Yeah, we're sorry. We tried everything, but I don't even know what that means." But he's like, "We can't open the lock, so I'm sorry, but I can't give you this spot." And I'm like, "Dude, like, I got some catered food coming. I got like decorations. I got over like 20 family members showing up, and you're telling me 30 minutes before check-in that I can't come in." And that's why energy is so important, because like I didn't even panic, like the old me, I feel like, would be like, "Oh my gosh, like this is a nightmare." And like, because I was heading to a speaking engagement, I had to speak within like the next 30 minutes. So I was like, okay, well, I wasn't even taking it. I was kind of like, fuck it, like just focus on now and next, focus on the speaking engagement. And while I'm prepping for the speaking engagement, I'm calling Airbnb. I'm like, "Guys, like it's my 30th birthday. We only turned 30 once, like, can you guys please find a solution for me?" And again, I wasn't panicking. I was very respectful to the Airbnb people, and they're like, "Okay, we'll see what else is nearby." And I ended up booking another spot that same day, right before going on stage. And my speech went really great. Like, some mothers came up to me after crying, saying like, "Man, this is such a beautiful story." Um, got the spot, rushed to Montreal, like 2 hour drive right after the speaking engagement. Went to check my brother; he was okay. And yeah, I got the Airbnb, and I feel like it wasn't like the outside wasn't better than the first one, but it was very cozy. Everybody had a great time. I feel like it was meant to happen, obviously. And yeah, got there at like 11, maybe at midnight or 1 a.m. Prepped all the food, put all the food away with my brothers and cousins. The next day, everybody came, and we just had such a beautiful time. The decorator came. We made the most of the space. It turned out to be perfect. We didn't get no noise complaint. And the listing before, the one that canceled, told me that like if the volume exceeds this or whatever, like you guys are gonna get fined. And he said he has like some sensors in his house to rate the level of music, and this one was like perfect. Like, we didn't get no complaint. Like, all my family came by, everybody was raving about the food, everybody had such a great time. Yeah, the energy was priceless. And we partied Saturday, and then I flew out Sunday, so it was like everything worked out perfectly.
Hmm. Wow.
Yeah.
You're
It was quite an
you're
adventure.
quite yeah.
Why'd you get a
Well,
B&B, Airbnb for your party versus your
I
house?
was I was going, well, because I live in Ottawa, and I was flying out from Montreal to Dubai.
Uh, yep,
So I figured like the majority of my family members are in Montreal, so I was like, you know what, it would make sense to get a spot in Montreal, so I don't have to rush to to the airport 2 hours away. The next day I could just be in the same city and finish the party and the celebration, and then go to the airport.
got it.
you're setting quite an example, Ronnie.
Thank you, Bill.
You're living it. I love the whole Dubai trip, what you're doing. I just love it because you set it up properly. You're there absorbing it. And then you come and say, yeah, the best thing so far has been being with my aunt in the desert. I mean, like Jamie was talking about. So powerful.
Thank you.
What is Everybody make a comment what you're learning from this, watching Ronnie do this. What's something you're learning? Really pretty incredible.
Yeah, for
It's
me,
just really
it's
interesting.
seeing
Oh, sorry,
him,
sorry.
Go ahead, Jamie.
yeah, doing the like the responding, I feel like every day we have those opportunities to like get to like take a path and change our life, like
Mm-hmm.
whether you
You have a
get,
choice.
yeah, like the choice to get triggered or the choice to like
Mm-hmm.
how you like, I mean, I've had a few, um, like a few things lately where I'm like, um, have to like go really pull myself back. I mean, like where I'm like extreme to a degree, and 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 it feels so crazy, to not just snap or to not just react so hard. So yeah, like you not getting the Airbnb, um, it's just like
Yeah.
how many times if we could clock every day do we have the opportunity to like let something derail us, I guess. And then
Yeah.
I've learned it's not so much about what I've learned from it is learning to that mechanism that gets used in me, like accessing that and how good I get at using it, like to where it becomes normal for me to recognize it and then just like and just take the other, take the when you come to the crossroads and take the higher one, like each time, and then know that you're going to get challenged even harder at the next crossroad.
Yeah. The choice there, Jamie, is to live from the story inside you or choose to write a new one. Because it's the story inside you that activates you.
Yeah, and in the moment, that's the last. You can't even think
Right.
you can't even think that clearly. You can't think that intellectually at all. It's just straight
Right.
black. Sometimes it's black or white, and you just go, and then it's just going white, white.
Yeah.
Your brain just one or zero, black or white, and you just go, okay, I'm just gonna move there and get myself to a place where I can even think straight.
Right.
And it's nice to talk
Brian?
about like that real stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Mm, I think what I was going to say was just I find it really funny, like a case study watching the evolution of Ronnie. Because like we were like,
Yeah.
all of us actually were approximately around from the beginning when he started. I mean, you're on, you were
Hmm.
the first one, but I think I joined not too much longer after you joined. And so
Yeah.
just seeing the evolution is like really, I don't know, I find it really interesting. It's like I'm watching a movie.
Thank you, Ryan. That means a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. Ronnie was a mess when he met me. He was lost.
I remember you not really contributing a lot, you know?
Hmm.
And then the conversations we had, you were a lot, it was very heavy into fear and scarcity because you didn't know you were looking for a job and forget some other stuff. You were trying to decide what you
Hmm.
wanted to do.
Hmm.
It's amazing
God,
what
you
can happen
remember
in a
that,
year.
Ronnie?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Ronnie, do you have the first
Very
call,
true.
the
Pardon
recording,
me?
or do you have the recording of your first call? I mean,
That's a good question, eh?
it'll be
I
interesting.
don't think so. Yeah, but
Yeah,
I
Hmm.
definitely would love to go back and listen to some of the early ones and see
I
my
guess it's
energy.
relevant too.
It's a good idea, actually.
Yeah,
Yeah,
great
that's
idea.
Ryan. That's why I told you the podcast, where you met me to to go back and listen to your podcast because it'll take you right back to where you were when you met me.
I did
And
listen to it. Yeah, I listened to it.
you did?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
What did you
It was
get?
like,
What did you?
well, I was like starting to seek a lot, and try. I was in. I think that it's funny how like sometimes people pop into your life at the exact moment because I was from when I listened to it, I was talking about like I'm starting to look into religion. I'm seeking different things. I'm trying to like purpose therapy. Eventually, and so I was heavy into seeking mode, and our paths crossed at that exact moment.
Yeah. Stanford, what are you learning from Ronnie's experience here?
Just kind of jumping into it and doing it, you know, kind of going for life experiences without abandon and seeing what
Say
turns out.
say more about it. Give me
It
something
just seems like
specific.
he's just like decided to do this and go and kind of create his own path and also transform the experience into something that's more meaningful to him as opposed to just having, you know, another generic travel experience, even to a cool place.
Yeah.
Yeah, but making it more meaningful, involving his family and involving something that he will remember for the rest of his life, probably. So
what's something that you're well, you're obviously jumping into getting this business started. That's a pretty big jump.
yeah, it's on a similar path. It's just slightly different, but it does take some chutzpah. So yeah.
Yeah, no, you're doing amazing with it.
So yeah, so it's just
Yeah.
kind of that's the observation.
And how is that going? How are you doing?
It's actually going well. I joined this startup group, and today I had my first meeting, and they like the idea of my business, and I'm going to be connecting with two founders of two different companies that will help me validate my idea and explore it further. And also, I'm going to meet with a kind of a fractional service person that's a CTO in a different company that's also going to talk to me about how that works and how I can pivot my business further. And
Yeah. Oh, I like that term. I like that term, fractional service.
And then I have regular meetings set up for every week with a cohort of startup founders to work on things, to kind of check in, to have a what do you call it, accountability group. And once I get this developed, I'll be able to see like how I can fund this whole thing. They're going to help me build the proposals out and the pitch decks, all that stuff. So then I connected with a web designer that will help me do some things with my website that currently I just don't have the time to do. And we're going to work on that, just kind of optimizing.
Stanford, does your work need to be? Do you need to be local to the person to do your work, or is it you can work with
No,
somebody?
it can be entirely remote. Yeah, it can be entirely remote. It doesn't have to be local, but like local is always fine. But I really actually prefer remote. Yeah.
Well, I don't know, not to derail you from what you're trying to build, but
Mm-hmm.
and I am not even this is a good fit, but I was on the phone yesterday with an old client of mine because I thought there's an opportunity for us to get back in with them, and it seems like there is,
Mm-hmm.
just not right now. And he was mentioning, I'm grabbing their website. He was mentioning that he's kind of struggling right now because his IT leader is leaving.
Mm-hmm.
They're a manufacturer.
Wow.
They're a manufacturer of. Let me put the website. Where the heck is the chat?
Yeah, everyone, I gotta run, but I'll speak to you guys next week.
Hey, yeah. Hey, what time is it there now, Ronnie?
It's 1:30 a.m.
Yeah, I thought it was gonna. Oh yeah, he's still in Dubai. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, Ronnie. Thanks for checking in, and
My pleasure. Thank you guys.
believe me, I am just so impressed with the actions you're taking and the mirror that you're setting for all of us. Every
Thank
one
you,
of us
Bill.
is sitting
That
here
means a
going,
lot.
"Yep, yeah." Every one of us. It's like it's just a great reflection for us to see. Very
You guys all
inspiring.
contributed to this, so appreciate you guys.
Yeah, we appreciate you too. So have fun. We'll see you next
Thank
week.
you.
Get
Alrighty,
him,
bye
Ronnie.
everyone.
Find yourself a lady. All right, bye.
I'll try.
Cool, Ryan. Yeah,
But
I'll take a look at those. Those are interesting. Okay.
I
Cable
don't know if it's a
manufacturing.
remote position, Stanford. I don't know. I know the president, and he's such a nice guy. He's like, yeah, he's just a good guy, and he's
Okay.
kind of old school though. So I can imagine like if he was to offer remote, he probably wants you to come in there every quarter or whatever. So you'd be in my neck of the woods, you know.
Yeah, that's
But,
cool. Just travel
that-
once in a while, just get there. Yeah, I mean, I don't think travel to New York should be a problem.
Yeah, I gotta bounce to you. See you guys later.
All right,
Later.
Jamie, take care, bud.
Everybody's bouncing.
See ya.
Yeah, he
I
Tony-
have to bounce early too, but not until 5:15, and I'll have to move into the car in about a half an. 20 minutes.
Yeah, Jamie has a project going on, and he notified me earlier, said he could only come on for the first 30 minutes.
Well, that's nice.
It's
Okay.
it's so exciting. Like everything's starting to expand for everybody. Can you feel it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
For sure. Yeah, everyone's got their
Just
own
a
form of
different
expansion.
energy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm hold on a second. Yeah, I'm looking at that website. Yeah, I'll let me see. We can find out what he needs. And
Okay.
I might have somebody maybe in the area if he needs somebody local.
Yeah, I can ask him. I'll make a note to ask him.
Yeah.
But Bill, I was thinking about you. You're like right at the same exact time, almost at the same exact time. Stanford's joining these networking groups. You know, Ronnie's in Dubai, and I'm literally getting my arm. Like I never thought I'd
There's a
actually
lot
do it.
going
Did
on,
it. So, and
and
Jamie's
I'm exploding wide open.
Oh, that's right. You get your $1 million goal.
Well, it's also spring approaching, so spring has sprung kind of thing. So that's the
Yeah.
rejuvenation and energy and flows.
Yeah, but it's interesting to see that all of us are kind of popping simultaneously.
Correct.
Really
I'm seeing them
fascinating.
I'm
Yeah.
seeing them right now, Stanford, so don't forget.
But this this example that Ronnie is setting is, I'm just beside myself in awe of
Mhm.
the way he's making the choices. Because you remember what he went through. He sent me an email and said, "Do you think I should go to Dubai? Remember we talked about it?" I said, "Well, I'm not
Yeah.
choosing for you, right?"
But
And he went and he set a beautiful energetic foundation for it. And it just the whole thing is just amazing. It's
mhm.
so powerful.
Yeah.
Hey, and Ryan sent me a text about his uncle. Have you seen your uncle yet with your tattoo?
No, I'm not going to see. No, because I just got this tattoo Tuesday. It's only been like a day and a half.
Yeah, I didn't
Um,
know. I
but
thought it
no,
was funny in that text when he responded that he mentioned your hat.
I know.
that was funny. It was cute. Yeah, it was actually cute. He was more concerned. I don't remember. Let me see what he said. I've got the text here. Ryan sent me a copy of it. Yeah. He says, "Yeah, I told my uncle about my tattoo, and his uncle said, 'That's fine, Ryan. Thank you for letting me know. I personally not a fan, but that's just my preference. Looking forward to seeing it, and I'll always love you, provided you don't wear a hat at the company lunch.'"
That's hilarious.
He just has a thing against hats, right? Isn't that funny?
I just figured I had to tell him because he's a little bit conservative, and
Yeah.
and I didn't want him to find the X. Everyone's starting to find out, and so I didn't want him to find out. Surprise, and so
Yeah. But I thought that was pretty funny how he's so hung up on the fucking hats.
I know.
Very funny.
It's like, don't do it.
You can
don't
get,
do it. Ah!
yeah, you're not getting a tattoo, you're getting a sleeve,
Oh, I left that one. I left that one piece of information. My
Oops.
entire arm.
Oops.
Yeah. I shaved my head. It's the top of my head.
I did that a long time ago when I first shaved my head. My mom saw it and she was just like almost had a heart attack. She's like, "Oh my God, you look like you're in prison." oh no. Oh no. I'm like, Mom, I'm not like using cocaine. I don't have a full-blown tattoo on my face everywhere else. I'm just losing hair and it looks horrible now, so I have to do this. She's like, no, no, don't do it. No, no, it looks
You
bad.
look like you're in
You
prison.
look like you're a prisoner. No. I'm like, oh my God, Mom, no. No.
It's funny how people label you. Like I've had two people ask me if I'm becoming a gangster, and like a what was the other one? Like similar meaning. Even Jill was kind of excited by it because she's like, wow, it's like I'm with a different man now. You know, I don't know why that's exciting for her, but she was like, oh wow, this is like you're someone new. You know, everyone
Yeah.
she seems to really like it actually. My kids love it, so I don't know.
Well,
But
and Ryan, that's also she's saying that also unbeknownst to her because of the energy you're moving.
she did
Like
say something that made me think of
that
that. Yeah, you're right.
that gives her that it gives her that opening. See,
Is she
you know,
better
like
now?
We're better, yes. You know, she's still, you know, we got into like a small little tiff last night because she could become so easy to get mad and like, oh, it just drives me crazy. But it was fine. We're fine. It was like a small little thing. We're going to lunch tomorrow, so yes, we're fine. We're back to, you know, normal.
Yeah, good. Very good.
She did make a reference. I can't remember what the heck she said, but it was something like she feels that my energy is different and she's trying to get used to it. Weren't those exact words, but it was like that
yeah.
was the
Well,
general.
she doesn't know what's happening. Okay, so the fact that you've got this tattoo, it's like, oh, like it that gives her an excuse to say, oh, I'm with a different man now. You know, of course, there's more of a little macho image on what you're doing and so on, but I run into that all the time where people come up and comment on my dress,
Your
right?
dress?
The way I dress,
Oh,
right?
the way you dress.
Oh, I really love that shirt. Or, I mean, they say something just totally, frankly, stupid. And what they're experiencing is my energy.
Mhm.
And they don't know what to do or where to place it. They aren't familiar with it.
Mhm.
They just aren't familiar with it. You know, I'm going to do, this is going to be interesting. I'm doing a podcast next week. I had a free interview with the woman today, and they run a company where they support chiropractors and holistic health practitioners. And it's so funny. I did a video online about how to have difficult conversations, and she saw that. She said, "Oh, I love that topic," right? Because here's what we run into, and she starts explaining to me what's going on with the chiropractors and all of them they work with. Well, it's not. It has nothing to do with a difficult conversation. You know, it does for her. She's having trouble explaining to them to help them to deal with their people, but it's about a lack of clarity is what she's really talking about. You know, it's pretty funny. And I just laid the energy on her. Even at the end, I just said to her, we got done. She said, okay, thank you, I'll see you next week. I said, okay, hey Jennifer, make sure you create a special day for yourself. And she looked at me like, you know, like, oh, okay, yeah, I will, thanks. You know, I mean, it just, they don't know what to do. It's so funny. It's so funny, and it's so nice because it really changes, it affects their day
Mhm.
in a positive way.
Yeah.
Do either of you have anything that you want to cover?
Mm.
I've got something for sure.
Let me think.
For me, it would be, I think in general, just maintaining what I'm doing right now because I'm entering an interesting section of life. Oh yeah, so I had like an interview yesterday for a job, and it was very interesting because I said no to it because even though
Nice.
I do need a job, but like I looked at it and right away I listened to my body as I was talking to the person, and like I clenched up when I was listening to her
Wow.
talk, and I'm like, and we're saying no to this, and
Mm.
and I was very respectful, and I said, listen, this is not going to be a fit. this is why. And she's like, oh my God, I thank you so much for letting me know. I'm like, I don't want to waste your time. I don't want to waste the whole team's time, etc. I might have some people that might actually want to apply for this role, so like I can send you this stuff forward. And she's like, well, when we grow a little bit more and can afford you basically and afford your services, we can, you can reach out to us or we will reach out to you, So I'm like, okay, cool. Like it was very amicable, but it was just like, no thanks.
Yeah.
Stanford, that is so powerful.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So powerful.
Yeah, it's good energy.
You're,
Yeah.
I mean, that's for you, the way you handled that energetically is a bigger deal than what Ronnie's doing.
Why do you say that, Bill?
I want to
So
let it soak in just a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
Do you get what I'm saying, Stanford?
Well, I mean, as far as change goes, because I think Ronnie's already been on this path for a bit.
It's you're breaking that heritage of, I've got to have a job, I've got to be working, and to to the way I can tell is the way you just explained it to us, the energy
Mhm.
behind what you just
Mhm.
explained to us
Mhm.
is not the old you, it's the new
No,
you.
yeah, exactly. I mean, again, the reality is I do need a job because it's been a while
Well,
now,
yeah,
but that's not
yeah,
the
but
kind of the point because it's like,
it's
yeah,
you
yeah.
don't need a job bad enough to just jump at something for the money.
Well, not something that I know right away will burn me out, and I won't be able to maintain it. It's just I saw it right away. I was like, nope,
uh,
this is a dumpster fire. I can't do this.
4 months ago, 4 months ago, you would not have been capable to handle that with the same energy. You
Probably
would have
not.
still handled
No.
it,
Hmm.
but the energy, you would have been, oh no, those fucking clowns. I mean, whatever. It would have just
Hmm.
been right. And that's what I'm addressing is your energy
Hmm.
and how you've just spoken about it. And it's like, no, I'm creating something much better for myself.
Hmm. I mean, it's
And
also a big
yeah.
deal. It's a big deal overall of this startup group,
Mm-hmm.
because they're dealing like one of my well, he's kind of an account person, but not really. He's just more a facilitator. But I was talking to him today, and he's like, I work with a lot of tech companies and also with companies that are IT related, and they deal with millions and millions and millions of dollars. And so he's like, your idea is great for the business. We have to, you have to attend various meetings to just kind of make sure that you're going into the right direction. And especially with like AI happening, how much hype there is around it. But like my approach, I talked to him what I want, and he was just like, yeah, he's like, that's a great idea. Like, especially for the market that I want to target. And it's yeah, it was kind of it was really validating actually. So it's kind of a big deal to me.
That's awesome.
It's huge. It's not a big deal. You have clarity on it. And in the tech meetings and those, let your energy, just be there for you. For you, I would describe it in saying more of letting your feminine
Mm-hmm.
express itself, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Because
Mm-hmm.
as your energy there is so powerful and peaceful. And
Mm-hmm.
there's male and female and everything. And and before, you were always taking this hardened approach uh
Mm-hmm.
with what you were doing and about the people around you. And now you're stepping into that leadership position and being soft and approachable and peaceful is an energy none of the guys in these startup groups are accustomed to.
Mm-hmm. Well, the interesting thing is that I had this energy before and it wasn't
Mm-hmm.
placed correctly or it wasn't received as well. And so along with life happenings and everything, I had to harden my stance.
You
Um,
were just afraid to express it. You didn't know what
mhm,
to do with it.
mhm,
That now you know that it's you.
mhm,
Just like me, I have very strong feminine energy.
mhm,
I think me too.
Uh-huh. And I just like I put it out there. I put it
mhm,
out there, and I'm really like in I've always had this deep fear of being seen, and I'm shattering that now. I'm going like, in fact, a picture. I took the picture of Ronnie on the camel and put it up on Facebook on a couple of my pages with just said, here's a client that, well, actually I put on there the note that I had texted him or sent him via Instagram, and then his response back to me, which was, "Yeah, this is amazing, Bill. I would never be here if it wasn't for you. I mean, what you've done for me, something like that." But it was just a beautiful exchange we had, not puffing it up, but people are, they really feel it. They're commenting on it. It's so unusual. But that is so huge for you because
mhm,
what it's doing, what it tells me you're recognizing it's two things. One, you're really starting to trust yourself,
mhm,
and two, you're feeling safe,
mhm,
even
mhm.
in the face of adversity. You know you're safe because you have you. And you're really not in the face of adversity. You're really in the face of opportunity.
Yeah.
That saying from, uh, I think it was a guy that wrote Psycho Cybernetics, or it could have been Dale Carnegie, uh, Norman Vincent Peale or Dale Carnegie, that said, every problem has a seed of opportunity in it that's equal to or greater than the problem itself.
Mhm,
And that's duality. That's the universe. That statement is 1000% correct. There's duality in everything. So when
mhm,
you're in this situation, you have to look and see, gee, what's the what's the other side of the polarity, the duality here?
mhm.
And you're really
Well,
you're stepping into that.
it's interesting because I have my moments where I doubt all of this and I doubt a bunch of things and I get down just because of like everything that's happening in the world, etc. And but then it doesn't stop me from continuing. It's just like, oh, you know what? Okay, I felt it. Let's continue
Yeah.
into a different path.
Yeah, tell it. Go sit in the corner. We're going to make a change of direction here.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, and just choose not to participate. You can write any story that you desire, and you're actually into that now so deep you can't get out of it.
And I don't want to really.
You're right. You're stuck now. I mean, you're in that far because you had all that cultural resistance before,
Hmm.
which is, in the it's a big factor. People come from different countries, geographic regions, financial, societal, and on and on and on. And you really, um, have to create your own blueprint out of it. But the way you
Hmm.
do it is with the tools I'm teaching you, and the way you feel is what takes you out of it.
Yep.
You were going to
Yep.
say something, Ryan.
I don't think so. I don't remember if I was, but yeah, Ronnie. It sounds it's really interesting watching Ronnie evolve. And I feel like, or not evolve, but, he's just really growing and stuff like that. Same thing with you, Stanford. I feel like you're at that point now too. Like you're at the business about to go. You're being selective about the interviews, which I think is really good energy.
Hmm.
Um, and then the networking, you're taking action. So I feel like all this stuff is starting to swell. It's really cool.
Hmm. Thank you. Yeah, it is. It really is. Yeah.
What's your next step with the
Yeah,
business? Oh, sorry, Bill.
no, that's okay. Um, I'm really I've been working like crazy. I was telling Stanford before you got on, I'm doing this course. I've got 27 15-minute videos to record, get edited, and do all that.
How many?
27.
Ooh. Will you record
It-
them all in one shot?
no, no, I've got about 20 of them done. No, first I created all the outlines, and then built them out into 15-minute scripts.
Okay.
And then I use a teleprompter. And now I'm going back and doing the edits, and then I'm going to, once I've got the videos done, I'll use the script or something like that and create the transcripts, and I've got the questions and all of those things. And in fact, the coaching group I hired was supposed to do all this for me, but they're just too fucking slow. You know, it's like, no, if they're gonna, like, it'd be June before I'd be getting clients. It's like, and I started this in October. It's like, no, I'm getting this shit done. And they're actually going to, their salespeople are the ones that are going to sell and get clients for me.
Oh, really? Is it like a revenue
Yeah.
share, or do you have to pay them?
Well,
a fee?
they're putting together. They have trained and worked with a number of coaches,
Okay.
and they have advertising and such going on anyway. And so they'll put a sales team in, and I pay the sales team 20%
Okay.
of whatever they sell. But anyway, I'm doing the the courses, and I am loving what's getting uncovered looking at this from the side of potential. It's really fascinating, really fascinating. You know, the first thing that's most fascinating, and this was a hit from the universe to come up with a name for this course, Peak Potential Blueprint. But potential is your life purpose. When you're in your potential, you're in your life purpose. But the thing about potential, we've been through this once. Do you remember what potential actually is?
I remember you asking us. I bet I'm not going to remember the definition, but I remember the moment of you asking us.
Do you remember, Stanford?
Mm-mm.
It's when people speak of, you hear people speak, you know, when I say the word potential, what comes to you, Ryan, when you hear potential? How do you visualize it?
Um, well, I know the answer I even gave because I'm having deja vu right now. The answer I gave back then was it's the there's the gap of there's the gap between who you are now and who you can be, and then who you can be is the potential, crossing that gap and realizing your potential. But I remember you said that was the wrong answer, so I just can't remember what the heck you said.
Yeah. Stanford, what do you have to say?
I think it's unrealized energy.
Unrealized that, yeah. Who's the winner, Bill?
People always relate potential to the physical outcome, Ryan. But that's an expectation. That's a manifestation of the potential. And the moment it manifests, it becomes your past.
Okay.
Do you follow that?
I think so. No, I don't think I do because I don't think I can explain it back to you.
Can you explain it, Stanford?
Repeat that.
Ryan said, it's who you're going to become. And I said, no, because when you see what you think you're going to become is actually an expectation.
Oh, yes.
Oh yeah, it is.
And potential is unreal. It's unrealized energy, or it's excess energy that you can be the catalyst for. And the way you become the catalyst for it is with your divine gifts. That's
So
what
it's not
activates it.
not necessarily tied to the outcome, like the potential who you could be. It's
It has nothing to do with the outcome.
it's the energy of
What it's igniting you. If you have your energy and you're connected to an ocean of untapped energy. It's infinite.
Hmm.
And as you start to ignite that, like Stanford's doing that right now with the group and the startup group. Like this is a big move for him. He's stepping towards igniting the energy, and he has no idea what's going to come.
Mhm.
And it doesn't matter because, you know, some of it's already been ignited. He's telling us about people that he's meeting with that are going to help him out.
Mhm.
And that happened because he took the initiative to take an action, ignite some of that energy. But now that that's happened, it immediately becomes his past. It's already happened.
Yeah.
It's not happening now. Now there's the potential is going to have greater returns for Stanford because he has more clarity. Right, Stanford? You following that?
Yep.
And out of this clarity in his conversations, you just mentioned a potential client to him.
Yeah.
To
That's good.
to which he remained very detached, which is the key.
Yeah, like, oh, maybe this works. I emailed them.
Oh, thank you.
Stanford while we were talking, so
Yeah.
I forget.
But the beauty is,
Thank you.
and if you're going to jump on your cell, Ryan, go ahead. The beauty is Stanford's, he's playing with the energy, not the result.
Mm-hmm.
You see that, Stanford?
You know what's also funny? The name Stanford. So I've had less job rejections with that name. It's so crazy. I just like my mind is blown. I'm like, okay, so I just had to change my name. Well, also persona. It adds a different play. Again, talking about playing with things.
Well, no, it's the name. The name is getting you in the door.
Mm-hmm.
And what's beautiful about it is, again, you could be sitting in a position of extreme judgment.
Mm-hmm.
You know, why those motherfuckers aren't accepting you with your real name, you know? I mean, you can look at a lot, 98, 99% of the people would be there, right?
Yeah.
And you're seeing the exact difference of what's happening because you've changed your name. And again, your energy around it's amazing. It's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
It's, you know, it's great things that I think what I'm getting energetically is like, be prepared. I feel this tidal wave coming to you
Mm-hmm.
where you're going to be like, whoa, okay, wait, slow this thing down. Right. That's what I really feel is coming.
I'll get
And
the surfboard prepared.
it's my my inclinations and intuition on those things is usually pretty accurate. I don't know other than that what it's going to look like, but I can see the buildup of the energy.
Mm-hmm.
And it's especially especially like that was so critical what you did in that job interview.
Mm-hmm.
So critical.
What was also interesting is that how she reacted, because she was, you know, some of these people when they get on with you, they're tired or they're snappy or there's something else, and I just kind of met her and I understood exactly what she wanted from like a leadership perspective,
Yeah.
really, and she knew that I recognized that, and I right away kind of leveled with her to make sure that everything's kosher, and then it just kind of naturally we're just like leaders talking to each other as opposed to me being less than or being needy or something else. It was something else. It was nice. It was
Well,
nice.
that's exactly what I'm talking about. And you're there with complete detachment.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
and the truth of the matter is you're doing what I've told clients in the past to do.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It's, yes, you're going on an interview, but you're doing the interview.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing to be nervous about because you're conducting the interview.
Mm-hmm.
Is this a fit for you?
Yeah. I had a rejection for another job that I was waiting for like 3 weeks now to hear from, and then I understood why. Oh, 1 second, let me open up the door. Oh, hi, Puss, that's you. Sorry, I thought it was another cat. But
Oh,
and then I was like, you know what? It is upsetting because I do need work because lull on everything right now. It's been a while. But I got a little upset for a second, and then I said, you know what? No, let me send an email out. And so I sent them an email to all of the people that I had an interview with, and I said, listen, it's really, disappointing, but on the other hand, like, I really hope everything works out. Love talking to you all. If you have anything in the future that'll match my skill set, etc., please feel free to like include my resume on it. Of course, nobody
mhm.
replied, but that doesn't even matter.
No,
So,
no, no, no. It's about the energy that you're creating. In fact, I'm doing these podcasts, and I had somebody get back to me that wanted to interview me that does podcast on dreams. It looked very interesting. And I
mhm,
looked at it and I sent him back a note and I said, they had tremendous clarity in what they were doing in their show, which a
mhm,
lot of these people don't have. And I got back to him and I said, boy, I so appreciate your clarity. And I really feel like I'm not a fit for this. I think that you would
mhm,
be better served having someone else. But I
mhm,
want to thank you for your time. And I got the nicest note back from them where they were like, wow, like they just had never, it was obvious they'd never received a response like that.
mhm.
Uh,
It is, yeah. There's something also happened with a lot of people. They stopped being considerate, towards others, and it's just like there's this huge gap. Um,
mhm.
and if you can fill it, then it's just like it's a different experience entirely. So,
Totally, totally. And it's one that lasts forever.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
It's one that lasts forever for sure. But anyway, I'll keep going because I want to talk a little bit more just about that understanding of what potential really is.
mm-hmm,
And the reason is I was one of the lessons in my class is on understanding potential energy.
mm-hmm,
Um, and people think of it as energy and movement, like running or electricity. But what it's about is energy that's waiting. It's stored energy.
That's how I always see it
Uh-huh.
as well.
And it's
I
sitting
see it
there
better in others than me.
and it just has the potential to become another form of energy. Well, the way it becomes another form of energy, Stanford, is by you transforming it. And what you were just talking about being courteous,
Mm-hmm,
transforms it.
mm-hmm,
Uh,
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
so it's energy, potential energy. There's Ryan coming back in. Potential energy is energy that has the potential to become another form of energy. So
mm-hmm.
it's a reservoir for you. And the way that you ignite it, the way you become the catalyst for it, I'll go through, some of those things in a minute, but it's the one thing we were just talking about just being kind and compassionate to somebody is a tremendous way to activate your potential energy.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and what you're doing when you're doing that is you're storing more powerful energy.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so when you look at what the physical properties are of stored energy, they don't have any. And the way you put it through energy conversion, and the way you put it through energy conversion, you're changing the form of it. the process of changing energy from one form to another, energy transformation. Your beliefs are the catalyst for this transformation. Emotions can only come from your story. What story are you storing energy with? What story are you saying that helps you store energy?
Interesting.
Because if it's frustration and anger, what are you storing?
Frustration and anger.
Yeah. So the process is fundamental to how the universe works. Listen to this, Stanford. It is as simple as allowing the possibility. It is as simple as allowing the possibility. And what you're doing right now that's so impressive to me is you're doing everything from a place of loving detachment. It's in the energy as you speak, which means you're up leveling all of your energy. In fact, you even talked about, I sent them all a response. Then you said, oh, they didn't get back to me. Like, that's the old Stanford, right? Like, why didn't they respond, right? But that's not who you are anymore, because it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it really doesn't.
It's about you having the experience from making new choices. The concept of personal growth, just like physical objects, we all have potential energy within us, is what this says. That's not totally true. The actual energy is outside of us, but it's untapped potential, dreams, and ability. Our beliefs and our mindset and our inner work are the keys to unlocking that potential and converting it into action. Our beliefs, our mindset, and our inner work are the keys to unlocking that potential and converting it into action. What's this? So, some of the behaviors that allow you to store and build and tap into potential energy: mindfulness and meditation practices. These practices cultivate inner peace, reduce stress, and enhance your focus, allowing for a clearer connection to oneself and the present moment. This can be seen as optimizing the flow of internal energy. And that's what you're doing now, Stanford. Practicing gratitude is another one. Focusing on what you're thankful for shifts your perspective to positivity, which can generate feelings of joy and contentment. The positive emotional state is a powerful source of energy. If you're in gratitude, it's pretty difficult to be a jerk. Spending time in nature has a grounding effect. Being in natural environments reduces stress, increases vitality, and fosters a sense of connection to the world at large, or to the universe at large. Engaging in creative expression through art, music, writing, or other forms of creativity, expressing oneself allows for the release of pent-up emotions and the generation of new energy. Acts of kindness and compassion. Individuals coming over adversity inspire us to tap into our own inner strength and resilience. Oh, I'm sorry. That's stories of resilience. I apologize. Helping others not only benefit them, but also creates positive feedback loops. With acts of kindness and compassion, it generates feelings of purpose and connection. Stories associated with concepts, stories of unity and interconnectedness, stories of transformation, stories of love and compassion, and stories that connect to ancient wisdom. Ancient stories from various cultures contain within them understandings of the natural world and of human nature. These stories can help people to reconnect to natural rhythms and inner peace. So potential energy is stored energy dependent on the properties and the position within its environment, which can be transformed through conversion. By understanding this, you can understand better how to unleash your own potential and create the life that you really dream of and desire. So the thing is you've got to look at the environment of the system that the energy sits in. Jamie was alluding to that. He's actually going through an experience now, I think, where he's understanding anger just isn't worth it. The price of it's too high. Frustration, the cost of it's too high. You let the stuff go and learn to step over into love and gratitude. No matter what happens. You know, one of the greatest things that I see that I do and that my clients do is when something happens and they're wrong, you just go own it. You go say, I'm sorry, I'm wrong. I will accept all the blame for this. Gladly. Why? Because I can transcend it. And when you do that, you leave the other party in a position where it's no fun to be angry and you haven't got anybody to argue with. I call it, handing them back the bag of shit, oh, here, you can have this back. And they're standing there holding it, not knowing what to do. Because they want the argument. They want the fight. What comments on that, Ryan or Stanford?
Yeah, that's the one thing that I wish I could help my wife with is not, she holds on to, she gets angry fast. She holds on to it, man. Even at 45 years old or 44 or whatever she is. I wish I could help her with that, 'cause I think it's a big weakness for her, but so I agree. I'm saying I don't hold on to anger. I don't want to be dealing with that emotion, doesn't serve me. So
Yeah. Well, the thing to do is to just step away with it with her and say, I would love to talk to you about this, but I'm not going to yell and scream. So let me know when you want to sit down and we can have a peaceful, loving conversation. Because she's seeing this change in you. And believe me, there's nothing you can say, Ryan, that will be better than the energy you can be. Who you're being is going to have a much greater impact than you standing there and saying anything to her.
yeah, and I had another opportunity last night, and I feel like I didn't use my energy the best way. I enabled her to trigger me and start kind of yelling a little bit. I'm like, why
Good,
I? But
good.
I know the better for me too. It's like stop.
Yeah, but let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
How did it feel? How did it feel?
I mean, I think I was making some pretty good points, so felt good.
You can make,
'Cause
but you can
you know,
you can make them from a place of love too.
I know, and I was coming from from a place of defensiveness, and so
Yep.
another, but
Hey, and guess what? I have a guarantee for you, Ryan. You'll do it again.
is that no one's
You're going to
perfect.
do that. Yeah, we aren't perfect. That's part of your learning experience. In the
Yeah,
past, you didn't have the capacity to understand that choice. You're muted. Now you're frozen.
He's frozen. Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't have the capacity to even understand that choice in the past.
hmm
And now he's going,
hmm
oh, wow, like I didn't handle that very well, which is really wonderful. That's how you
hmm
learn.
Mhm.
It takes practice. And what happens, is he's fulfilling my prophecy. And that is, when that happens, your life is out of control. You're immediately into reaction, and you're 3/4 of the way into the battlefield, and you just can't stop.
Mhm.
I've come this far, man. I'm going to ride it out.
Well, also, he's not afraid of going forward and listening to what you say, and also kind of dig around in himself. That's really, I think,
Mhm.
the important thing.
Well, it's
Mhm.
obvious that his wife is starting to really understand it. And what we'll do, because she's making these side comments to him, and he doesn't know what they are, but she's like, yeah, there's something, whatever.
Mm.
Um, but what we'll do is hold the intention that maybe that at some point she'll have a conversation with me.
Mhm.
I'd love to speak with her, and let
No,
her
that'd be
know that.
great. I would love
Yeah,
for you to see.
just let her know that we just want to see her. We want her to be more happy. That's all.
Mhm.
Pretty hard to
You
argue
hear
with
me?
that.
Can you guys
A
hear
little
me?
bit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
we
can
can
hear
now.
you.
Okay. Um, yeah, actually, um, I was getting my wife was calling me, and I didn't accept the phone call, and also I just brought her right into my phone. I'm like, oh, hello. So I don't know how that happened, um, but yeah, I didn't talk to her, Bill, about speaking to you yet. I have to figure out how I position that. You
Just
know?
let it. Don't push it. Okay.
Yeah, I can't with her
We'll just
because once her
we'll
walls
just
go up,
hold we'll just hold the intention. All right.
yeah, yeah.
We'll
You
hold
know,
the intention.
I'm having lunch with her tomorrow, little date, and
Yeah.
maybe I'll look for an opportunity if it makes sense.
I wouldn't say anything right now.
Okay.
That's my advice. It Just let it happen naturally.
Okay.
It's like Stanford, who had that interview yesterday and told the woman, "Oh yeah, this isn't, really, this isn't a fit for me." Right? That's
Yeah.
something that appeared out of what he's been learning, and he didn't think about it. It just came to him. He felt his body tensing up and was like,
Mhm.
okay, there's all the signals. I need to bail on this one.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's totally cool. Like, that's powerful. So powerful. Rather than living in survival. That's saying the universe is bringing something to me that's going to be much, much better.
Mhm.
And everything always does get better, especially with the energy you're moving into. You've made such drastic changes, Stanford, in the last few months. I mean, it was not that long ago where I was saying, where we just, Stanford, just let's look at some possibilities. Just give it a possibility. And now it's starting to crack open for you, and you're really you're legitimately doing that. It's amazing. This is for
Thank you.
you, really. I said it earlier. To me, this is a bigger deal than what Ronnie's doing, what you're doing.
Why do you say
Because
that?
because Stanford he has such deep cultural blocks,
Yeah.
much more than Ronnie. And it's just nothing wrong with it. They're just there. And he didn't adopt them. They were embedded in him. Right, Stanford? You had no
Oh,
choice.
absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
just part of the culture.
Well, and I see
And
it
so,
in my mom, even, like
uh-huh.
the things that she has to deal with, and it's kind of crazy.
And the truth of the matter is, the more you can let go of that, you'll generate more than enough abundance to take care of what you want to accomplish. Let's do it from a positive place, and that's where you're transitioning to. So
Mhm.
I have nothing against the way you want to make sure that you're able to assist your mother. Nothing against that whatsoever.
Mhm.
In fact, I'm going to soon here, I'll be talking to you about adopting me also. But we want.
Done. I'll send you the paperwork.
But you're just, you're just allowing the possibility. And what's happening is you're alive now. You're really alive. And you're living your life.
Mhm.
No, it isn't perfect. Yeah, you're still going to be concerned, but your concerns get less and less every day.
Mhm.
They get less and less the more you learn to trust you, and you're doing that very, very well. Especially with where you've come from and your background.
Mhm.
I mean, my background is extremely low self-esteem. So, if anything, even in my teachings today, my energy will be too strong the other way because I tell the self-esteem to just take a time out.
Mhm.
I'm going to take care of this. Everything will be fine. I don't need you. Thank you very much. And sometimes when that comes up, as we learn, we step into things with too much energy. We're too strong. We don't have the capacity yet to handle it comfortably.
Mhm.
Um, but as we move, we learn to be more and more comfortable with it. And it's like you developing your business. You're more and more comfortable with it. You're getting one thing done every day. You're looking at it and going, wow, this is starting to cook. Like, I'm
Mhm.
liking the feel of this. And the more comfortable you get with it, the more opportunities will come from it. Because the key is you're demonstrating the capacity to be responsible to it.
Mhm. Mhm.
It's your level of energetic responsibility that's going to attract the opportunities. And the only thing that's going to block them at that point are these old beliefs you have that don't serve you anymore.
Mhm.
Like the
Well,
things
the interesting thing is, I think one of the main beliefs is that everything has to be hard.
Oh, yeah.
Because life has been kind of like that, frankly. It's not, it's just a learned thing, really.
In the
And
past,
in the past, yeah, it's everything
I
had
say
to like come at a
say I
high
believe
cost.
that in the past, and I
Yeah.
know that it's not true anymore. Say that out
Yeah.
loud. I
Yeah.
believe that
I
in the
believed that
past.
in the past, but it's not true anymore. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
you
that's what the
own the opposite
experience
side.
was and everything
Yeah,
else. And so like no wonder.
and
Um,
that's your mother's perception of life.
but yeah, well, she runs on subconscious stuff and other things that she doesn't realize and asks questions of why the things are the way they are. And I tell her and she doesn't listen.
See you,
So
Ryan.
Bye, guys. See you
bye.
next week.
Okay, good call. Yeah, and you're shattering that now, Stanford.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You're learning that you have the right to be you, and in fact, you're learning that in understanding that you have the right to be you,
Mm-hmm.
that you're finding someone in there. Um, how do I say this? You're pleasantly surprised with what you're finding.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, I am. There's more to come. I mean, this is just the beginning, really. But I
Oh,
can
yeah,
also,
believe me, I
yeah.
know there's more.
Well, the other thing is for sure, I feel this way also because I have my partner with me, and he's really supportive and believes in me, and that means a lot to me. And actually, it's just kind of creates that ease in me. So I can't take all the credit, but this
Yeah,
is
well, yeah,
yeah,
well, no, yes, you can because you attracted that in Stanford.
no, that's true.
That's a reflection of you. That's
Mm-hmm.
you. Not only did you attract it in, you groomed it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, no, you've got to be at the level of the new me, or this doesn't work.
Mm-hmm.
And what you did was attracted someone who has the capacity to learn those things, and now you're supporting each other.
Mm-hmm.
You have to own it all.
Okay, owning it.
I mean, that's the truth,
Yeah,
and it's
sure.
fantastic.
It is. It really is. Yeah, I agree. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, it's the great things are coming for you. I really don't. really great things are going to come for you. It's amazing. It's so much fun to watch.
It's also funny. One of my friends did some medicinal mushrooms. So funny, but he needs them. Like it was in a controlled environment, like with a medical professional and everything.
Uh-huh.
And he's like, after he came out of that whole thing, he messaged me and he's like, I got to tell you, he's like, there's somebody out there somewhere in the ethers that actually really roots for you and loves you and wants the best things for you. So like you have allies on the other side. I'm like, oh, thanks. Well, that's
Oh,
nice.
that's cool.
That's nice to hear. I'm like, that's also funny that the message came through him, but I was like, okay, I'll take it.
That's so cool.
Yeah. So I'm like, okay, great.
Yeah, I would like to try medicinal mushrooms.
He said it was pretty an amazing experience, and he was surprised how safe it was, and for him, and he expected a lot of like maybe negative things because there's a lot of stuff in his life that really would probably trigger something like that, but it didn't at all. Um,
But
and
you and I both know there's nothing negative on that other side.
mhm,
They would have to bring it with them from the physical. It's the only way they could get there
mhm,
because there's nothing negative there.
mhm. Well, I was
It's not
surprised then that he
possible.
didn't bring it over, but yeah, but otherwise, yeah, it was very interesting. It was very
Yeah, that
interesting.
and I have on my bucket list ayahuasca. Uh,
Yeah, I
I want
wouldn't
to.
mind that either. Yeah, I don't, a part of me doesn't, it like gets interested, but it doesn't want to because I'm like, I don't know if I need it per se. Um,
It isn't about, for me, it's not about needing it.
mhm,
The thing that I wonder, and here's the way I would like you to look at it also, is
mhm,
our awareness of the other dimensions
mhm,
means the experience could be extremely profound.
mhm, mhm, mhm,
I feel like it'll be extremely profound, because so many people do it and it changes their life forever. And it's like, wow, when we have when we have the when we're attached to and able to connect with the wisdom that we connect with, I'm wondering what it would be like to have that experience. I think it would be pretty wild.
that would be wild, I think, yeah, with all of
And
the
it's, yeah,
sensitivities.
yeah. Because I mean,
No.
people are like, I've heard many people talk about doing it whose lives have been completely changed.
Mm-hmm.
There's still, they can't piece it all together, yet they know where to go to have the peace and they choose the peace. And that's what,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
for normal people, they have that experience and know it's possible and
Mm-hmm.
go there. But
Mm-hmm.
another one, the comedian Ron White, I don't
Yeah.
know if you've ever, who was a raging alcoholic, did ayahuasca and he hasn't had a drink in 2 years.
I'm not surprised.
He's
I'm
just
not surprised.
very interesting. I listened to his interview with Joe Rogan about it. He just
No,
said
some
it
of these
was,
experiences, I'm pretty sure, shatter certain patterns,
oh,
spiritual and
sure.
otherwise. And so, it's quite an interesting experience, I'm sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's so exciting to see what everybody's doing.
Yeah, very
I
nice.
mean, it's just like, and it's, um, what's happening is, and frankly, I think Ronnie's the one leading the charge,
Mm-hmm.
setting the example he's setting and the actions that he's taking and his willingness to discuss what he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, he's showing all the old timers how to do it.
Mm-hmm.
He really is. He's doing it, I mean, what
Mm-hmm.
he went through with his brother being in an accident, his Airbnb gets canceled. He's got he's going on stage in 30 minutes to talk. I mean, he's got all those things going on. He's like, yeah, man, I was just fine. Went through it all and when
Yeah,
everything
it's
worked
like it
out.
was
And
like nothing. It was like,
yeah,
okay, next.
Yeah. Yeah. And the more we get there, because I live my life that way, it's like,
Mhm.
and it's one of the things that gets difficult for me from time to time is I do get abrasive to get people's attention.
Mhm.
And I do it intuitively. And that gets uncomfortable sometimes, but it always seems to work for them.
Mhm.
Doesn't look at it first. In fact, there's a woman, her name's Sherry Wynn. She lives up in Fish Fishtail, Montana, is the name of the town she lives in. And
Wow.
she was an Olympic athlete, and she goes out and speaks. And when I met her, she was a coach and won an NCAA championship in a women's sport. I'm not sure which one, as a coach, and was in the Olympics. And when I met her, she introduced herself as Coach Wynn, and I said, "Oh, no, but what's your first name?" She said, "Oh, everybody calls me Coach." I said, "Well, I don't." Like, I went after her, right? She was pissed. And it
Hilarious.
was this was a few years ago maybe 4 or 5 years ago at a seminar we were at that myself and a couple other guys put on. And then she heard me speak through the whole weekend. And then she hired me to coach her, which I didn't coach her very long because it turned out she has the same life lessons that I do.
Interesting.
And it completely changed how she speaks now. Now it's about unconditional love. It's, and laughingly, a couple of years ago, I sent her a note and called her Coach. I said, "Hey, Coach Wynn," and we both laughed. I said, "You can call yourself Coach now because your heart's in it, right? It's okay now. You were hiding behind it before. You're not hiding behind it anymore."
Yep.
And yeah, and it's in what she teaches on Facebook and the posts she makes, and just everything's about, before she was going on stage saying, "Yeah, you be a champion," and all that bullshit.
Mhm.
Now she's talking about connecting from your heart and all the
Mhm.
things that really work and transform lives. It's really beautiful to see.
Mhm. That's
Uh,
amazing.
yeah, to see the way people change that way. Big difference. She did something. I can't even remember what it was. She did a post on Facebook,
Mhm.
with a demonstration and saying that there's no separation when there's love. There's no such
Mhm.
thing as physical separation, right?
Mhm.
I was like, whoa, she's just cranking it up. It's so cool to see.
I love when you see that kind of difference in a person and
Yeah,
their
yeah,
view.
yeah. And
You
it's
know.
just to see that. It's like, in fact, I haven't spoken to Sherry for a few years. I should give her a call sometime just to say hi. uh, but to see her heart come into it now. And she just
Mhm.
wrote another book, and I'm sure she's got more speaking engagements and is really cranking it.
I'm also actually trying to work on a book, but it's a cookbook.
Really?
Yeah, but it's not a typical one. So it has to do with um cooking and the like five stages of grieving.
Really? Wow.
Hmm. And it's kind of the structure is gonna be me approaching every single stage with stories, with expert opinions from spiritual sides and from like actual psychologists and whatnot, and also
Uh-huh.
have the recipes that would fit these stages. So it'd be kind of like I'm in the planning stage right now. Like the book itself would be a printed one, and then there would be possibly an app that you can adjust things that'll be more dynamic, and then there'll
Well,
be a
I'll
community around
I'll
it.
send you. Oh, excuse me. I will send you a link to the company in Ireland
Hmm.
that's handling the release of my book. Clarity Has No Story. That's coming out in the next couple of weeks.
Okay.
Um, and they do the whole thing, do the setup, do Amazon and everything, and they're very reasonable.
Amazing.
I
Okay.
think I think the initial package I paid for was like $750,
That's not
but
bad.
uh, and then they sent me something today, and it's $100 to have them put everything on Amazon with the keywords and everything. They're very, very reasonably
That's
priced.
awesome.
Um, and I'll send it to you. They
Thank
have
you.
different the package I bought initially was they do the formatting of the book. I think they did the cover design. I can't even quote it because I kind of set it on the shelf a couple years ago
Mhm.
when I had the health issue and just got back to them. But they've been phenomenal. Um, and it was so funny. She sent me today. Um, I just reactivated all this like a week ago, but she sent me today a thing. Here, I'll show. In fact, I'll show you the cover.
Mhm.
And that's not it. La da da. Here, this is the front and back cover of it.
Oh, nice. I like that.
And she sent me a request to do the today. Oh, I need a write up for the back cover, right? So what I did was I liked the way that was formatted and how much space was there the way it is now. So I copied that, did a word count on it, and then went into the first chapter, took the first chapter, put it into Gemini and said, give me, and I told him what the word count I wanted was, and the word count came in low, played with it a couple times, and got it where I wanted it, and sent it to her. And she was like, oh, I really like this.
Hmm.
I,
Hmm.
I, believe me, I'm an AI junkie, plain and simple.
Oh, yeah, same. It's the
It's so crazy.
having something
Uh,
like that, like a second brain, basically, but on steroids, be able to do
and
this for you. Amazing.
so here's what the back cover is going to say in quotation marks: a pink elephant. The author humorously begins the law of attraction journey. This experience reveals the importance of precise language and manifestation as
Mm.
their elephant arrives as a as an image on a truck, not a toy.
Mm.
Clarity has no story demystifies the law of attraction, revealing why it often fails and how to truly harness its power. You'll discover how words create your reality and learn and learn to align with the universal law for manifestation.
Mm.
Explore the power of manifestation and unlock your innate potential by understanding that clarity is power and ultimately align with our life purpose to create a life of abundance and joy. This guide offers practical tools and insights to transform your life, moving beyond limitations to the state of conscious creation. Pretty
Nice.
good, huh?
Yeah, I like that. I like that. Wow. This is
That's from
the name of the book I'm thinking
the
in the chat.
I like the subtitle.
Hmm.
The sifting through is what's happening,
Hmm.
but it doesn't describe it.
Okay.
And grief food,
Grief
food
food.
for food for grief, the taste of memory and the comfort of food.
Hmm.
You want grief in there
Okay.
because then it speaks to what it's about. What you have there is what happens.
Mm-hmm.
But when someone looks at it, it doesn't describe it. And
What
even
about
my book,
tasting grief, cooking, remembering, and finding comfort?
yeah, that's good. Um, but what's the purpose for the book? What's going to
Um,
happen when
there's
they're sifting through and processing?
because basically throughout the various stages, you don't have either the ability to or the want to or of um like really cooking certain things, like especially initially, you move
No,
you move through a lot of stages of kind of closing up and then kind of opening up, hopefully. And I wanted to show that progression and that it's possible, and then different stages trigger different taste
yeah.
awakening, and they move past
Um,
that.
feeding grief,
Oh, yeah. Well, that's not about. That's actually a good one. Feeding grief. Yeah,
because that's what you're doing.
yeah.
Um,
That's a good one.
the taste of memory and the comfort of food. Like I like
Feeding grief,
that.
test of memory. Oh, that's a good one. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, feeding grief. See, that says it.
Mm-hmm.
And that it's a great title. You know why?
Mm-hmm.
Because I actually, and I know this applies to a lot of people, but I worked with a husband and wife. He was a brilliant man. He's a PhD, holds all these patents and everything. And he got in touch with me and said, "Yeah, I want you to work with me and my wife." Which I said, "Okay." And we worked together just like 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
He was somebody I had a business relationship with. But what I learned in that for his wife and what
Mm-hmm.
came out of it for her
Mm-hmm.
was I gave her permission to hang out in the cathedral.
No.
And the cathedral for her was her kitchen,
Oh yeah.
right? Like that's how much her cooking meant.
Mm-hmm.
And she loved doing it, but she could never be there and really she didn't feel worthy enough to just own it.
Mm-hmm.
And it completely shifted her life.
Interesting.
So um so feeding grief um is
I
a
think it was
great title.
feeding grief. Okay. Yeah.
Let me find that. Here is the company that's doing my book, and these people are so reasonable price wise. I'll put it in the chat.
Mhm.
Um,
Books go social. Okay. And then the other one.
yeah. Um, yeah, I'm looking real quick to see what the price of their packages were. They're over in Ireland. Um, that's interesting. They don't have the pricing right there. They used to have it right on their website. But anyway, they've been phenomenal to work with.
Okay.
And I mean, to do to put all my stuff up on Amazon for this book for $100. Are you kidding me?
Oh, that's
But
nothing.
here's the promotion packages. Yeah. So here, let me share my screen. You can see these packages. Where are you, Zoom?
But yeah, it's one of those things that I'm working on the side because I need something
So
artistic. So for me, it's
yeah.
kind of a thing. But
So
nice.
they sell these memberships, okay? So the dime, I don't remember. I think I got the platinum. It was $500, okay? 200 of that goes to ads by Books Go Social on Amazon, or Facebook, Instagram ads. They make the ads adjust. They make the ads adjust the bidding, spend this amount on your ads and the monetary your ad. Bump, bump, bump. 8 weeks of tweets, a big high value promotional package. I analyzed them all. This came out to be the best. I did that. I must have paid extra. I might have paid extra. See, the one for $8.49 is just a little bit more money in ads.
Got it.
But they give you I sent them the manuscript and they got it. They formatted it for me and everything and sent it back with the word counts and all of that. I paid them extra to design the cover and for the Amazon thing. And I don't remember what I paid them for the cover, but it was like $149 or
Oh no,
something. It
that's
wasn't much.
nothing. Yeah, that's
It
nothing when it
wasn't
comes
much.
to.
And then the $100 for them to do it on Amazon. So they're going to take care of the whole thing, put my book on Amazon, advertise it, and I don't have to do a thing.
That's
And
lovely.
the last person I worked with, Karen, in New York, God, she helped me with my book, The 7 Levels of Truth, but I think I paid her $2,000 and she didn't do a fucking thing. She did nothing. Nothing. Although we did get a good cover out of it. But anyways, when I saw this, I was like, yeah, it's Books Go Social.
I'll take a look. This is still
Yeah.
in one of those beginning stages, but
And they have all kinds of training and support. They've been so good, and I dropped everything. It's been a year and a half, and I sent them an email a couple of weeks ago, and they've just jumped right back on it for me.
Love it.
No huss, no fuss. And I had to figure out where we were. I was so detached from what I'd had them done, what they had done. That's why I'm loading right now, and going to create the peak potential blueprint, and give it to them and get it. I'll have that launched before summer. So just get it out there, because books are really good calling cards.
They really are, yeah. This would be a very interesting project, but one thing at a time. But
yeah. Well, no, it's you really want to get into that and the energy of it. I really like that about the book. That's good for you. The reason it is because it feeds your energy. This is something that you're doing that's helping you create more energy and feel better. It's self-love is what you're doing. And it'll be a fun project. And even if you went with them, you went the lowest package, you'd have a book that you'd have in print. And from Amazon, I think the books cost like $4 each or something. You get a case of books for $100 that you can hand out. And, it's a lot of fun. You'd have a good time with it. Be a good experience for you.
Yeah, I would love to. I've always wanted to do something like this. And I'm like, you know what? I've been fighting that issue that I've always had, which is I didn't think I had anything to say. And then all of a sudden,
nothing's further from the truth.
exactly. And so like now it's like, okay, actually I do have something to say. So
You
I'm just
know,
following
there's
that
a
impulse.
I've got to jump here in a second, but there's a
Mhm.
Rumi quote. I don't know if you're familiar with
I know,
Rumi,
Rumi. Hmm.
but he says, everyone has a very special purpose in life. And in every other person's heart in the universe, there's a desire for that purpose.
Hmm.
If you're in your energetic purpose.
Hmm.
And the answer is, yeah, you by not doing it, you're cheating people.
Hmm.
You know, it's like what you're creating is fantastic. You're going to end up really working with people that will all have the primary ingredient you're looking for, and that's mutual appreciation,
Hmm.
because you're creating that. You got to
Yeah,
own what you're creating.
I agree.
It's not happening by accident.
No, 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 not at all.
It's quite intentional. Yeah. All right, I'm going to
All
jump.
right. Yep,
We'll
same.
talk
Thank
to
you
you
so
next week.
much. Yep,
Yep, another good call.
likewise.
I'll
Okay,
send out
have a
I'll
good
send out the
one. Good
recording.
luck with everything.
Oh, oh yeah, I'm just going to crank through it. I'm going to slow down a little bit, but
Yeah, it's probably a good idea, but still, it's the
today I
momentum
was
is
like,
amazing.
whoa, yeah, yeah. I mean, I just had to stop today. I was dizzy.
Mm,
It's
mm.
crazy. All right, see
All
you next
right.
week.